everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kaylee Gray, and if you have not subscribed to this channel, please hit that red button below. And I'm super excited to have my friend Summer here with me.
Hello.
So, funny story, we met through social media.
Instagram.
I saw one of her reels. It was so funny. And then we just kind of messaged back and forth a little bit.
Yeah, I followed you back and we just started talking and
yeah, realized we both lived near each other, and so we ran into Target. Like, we were at Target shopping.
Yep, we were following each other, talking, DMing, just casual, like becoming Instagram friends. Like people do it all the time.
Yeah.
And then we were in Target and I ran into her and it was the funniest thing. It was the first time we ever met.
And I had a friend with me and she was like, "Oh, how long have you known Summer?" And I was like, "Well, that was our first time meeting in person." And she said it wasn't awkward, so
It
wasn't. So
it was fun.
It was.
I love meeting people that, some people think it's awkward, but I think it's fun to meet people that you follow and tell them, especially if you've been talking and like they would know who you are.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's fun.
No, it is. It was so fun. So we just kind of had this like instant connection, and so we just like bonded through social media, and so
it was a good moment.
Yes, and so I'm so excited to have her on the vlog today, and we're gonna talk about a subject I feel like a lot of people don't really want to talk about, and so we just want to say this is our personal opinion.
Yes.
Like, you can take it or leave it, but this is just our hearts, just what we have done navigating the whole season of dating, and so we're gonna talk about dating around. And so the first thing we want to talk about is dating one person at a time.
That is controversial.
It is.
I've always been told, like, just date around, like, find what you like, which is so true. But I think there's like a gray area where it's like, what does it mean to only be dating one person at a time or going on dates with one person at a time?
Yes.
And I think it's really controversial because I have been told on one side of the coin, it's like, yeah, go on dates and find what you like and then commit to that person. But then I've also been told, you know, growing up, like, no, you need to like go one date at a time and be serious with that one person. If it doesn't work out, cut it off. And through life experience, I think it's best to literally give your attention to one person at a time and be as intentional as possible as you can with that one person, because like we were talking earlier and you said it's about being intentional and not being intense.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not intense to be like, oh, I'm only gonna date this one person and we're gonna go on a first date and they're gonna be the person for me and I'm only gonna give them my attention. It's like just making like it a point to just give one person your sole attention, because you can't get to know somebody if you're talking to like 5 other people at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like multitasking. They say you're not your best self when you're multitasking, and I feel like that's how we are with relationships. When you're splitting your relationships, your mind, your heart going different directions. And I mean, we talk too, like dating apps. You know, when you are on a dating app, like sometimes you are talking to multiple people at one time, but when you find that like one person that you like really enjoy corresponding with and you feel like you've hit it off and you have a lot of similarities and, you know, a lot in common, and you are like talking day to day, that's when I usually would stop talking to the other people and just intentionally talk to that person, because I wanted to see where we were going. If it didn't work out, then not that I have my backups to go back to, but you can go back to the dating app or whatever that you can be talking to. But I think just personally for me, and I think you said the same thing, like just being intentional with that one person, it's so important. I even think in making decisions and having that discernment, like, is this person the right person? Not to marry, but to like go forward in dating.
Yeah, there's so much pressure on marriage in Christian world. It's like, it's okay, just date. Just go on a few dates. Like, get to know this person.
Yeah.
And that's what dating apps are for. They're for you to have multiple conversations, to meet multiple people and get to know. I mean, heck, like you get on there and there's like so many people to look at on both sides for girls and guys. And I think whenever you start having those conversations, like you said, once you narrow it down and you start talking to someone and you are genuinely interested in them, I personally believe there's literally no reason to continue talking to anybody else. If you are enjoying your conversation and you want to go on a date with somebody on there, it's like, why would I? That's why you're on the app, is to go on a date with somebody. And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, no.
It's just one of those things where it's like, that's why you're on there, to go on one date with one person at a time and get to know them and be really intentional about it.
Yeah. I had read in a book recently, it said there was the question, if you don't date other people, how do you know what's out there? But he went back to say that Harvard Business Review said the more options someone has, the less likely they are to make a decision. And I think that's so true in this time period of dating, because you have your social media, you have your dating apps of just like, there's so many options out there. So you're like, well, I really do like this person, but you know, this person might, you know, better fit me. And so they're just constantly like not making a decision. They're not like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Picking that one person to just try to continue to get to know is like, just short term here, oh, I'm gonna move on and go to this person.
And what cuts that out is giving that one person your full attention, so that you can pick up on things and try to see if that is someone you want to continue dating.
Yeah.
Because if you are speaking with other people, you're probably not like fully paying attention or fully, and you know,
you're not fully engaged with the person.
Yeah, because you're thinking about other people and comparing them, and I don't know, it's just
comparison. Yeah. Or you're playing games. You're playing that like hard to get, or you're not responding to their text message right away. You're making them sweat it out. Or
let's just talk about playing games in dating for a second, because that is,
bring it.
I don't know. It's just, that is something that I feel like people, I think it's fake. I think people make up this idea that we have to play games, and they don't exist. Like,
no.
I never understood the like wait after a date, just like a few days. Like, that's a long time. You're gonna leave a girl feeling like you didn't enjoy the date.
Exactly.
You know, and I feel like when a man really wants to pursue a woman, he will not play games. He will not wait around. He will not like wait a few hours to text. He will like fully pursue and make her feel wanted.
Yeah.
And seen.
And the girl can do the same thing. Like, the girl can let them know, like, you are interested in them. You're not pursuing them, but you're interested in them, or you're thinking about them, or you're not making them sweat it out and be like, oh, well, he took 2 hours to respond to me. Just wait. I'm gonna wait 3 hours. You know, stuff like that. Like, what is the point of that?
It's like a power struggle. That's not even like loving somebody, or just basic love, just respecting a person that you just met and want to get to know. That's just like a power struggle with them, and that's already off to a bad start. If you feel like you have to play games with somebody that you just met, or if you want to play games with somebody that you just met, it's probably not going to be a great relationship, because you aren't wanting to be fully honest or transparent with that person. Because it's like, why do you wait to respond so long?
Yeah.
If he waited a while, it's like you're just insecure that he didn't text you back quick enough.
Yeah.
And why don't you just ask, like, hey, what are you up to? Instead of just being like, well, I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah.
And not communicate. You know, it's just weird.
It is. It is. So don't play games. Like, if you hear anything today, just don't play games.
I think if you're trying to intentionally date someone, and you're trying to find someone to like date and get to know and maybe spend your life with down the road, that's just not a good start.
No, it isn't.
Because you don't even know them and you're already playing games with them. And that's just not respectful, I don't think.
No, it isn't. So we're not about playing games.
No, we're adults. If you're on a dating app and you're an adult trying to find someone to date, don't play games.
Yeah, because there's nothing wrong with like responding back right away or letting somebody know you're interested. I think there's that fear of like worrying that you're too invested or too interested in them. And so I think that's why a lot of times they're like, oh, if I wait a few hours to respond, then he's gonna think, then he's gonna think, well, I like him, but I don't like really like him right now.
It's like you don't even know this person. Yeah. Just be yourself. Respond when you can respond. Like, you don't have to wait around wondering what he's thinking. Just be yourself. And you never know someone until you actually go on a date with them and try to get to know them. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you really don't even know them super well at that point unless you've been really talking.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, goodness.
Yes. Oh, the dating scene. And I know we kind of talked about this. So I couldn't date until I was 16, but you were able to date when you were younger. Mm-hmm. And there's also that, like, I am thankful that I didn't have the opportunity to date until I was, kind of in my middle of high school years, only because, I felt like I didn't have baggage that other people had, but I did think it was the end of the world when I wasn't allowed to date at those times.
When you are 16 and you cannot date and your friends are dating,
it's brutal.
It seemed brutal.
It did.
I could date, so I don't know. It seems like everything seems like the end of the world when you're 16.
Well, in high school, everything seems like it's the end of the world and you know everything. So you don't, just wait.
Yeah.
But you could. But you're, not that you say you're thankful for it, but.
No, I think it's just a different experience. I'm indifferent. Sometimes I look back and I'm like, man, like, would have saved me heartbreak at 15 if I wasn't allowed to date. Mm-hmm. But I think there's some lessons I learned dating. I think I first started dating when I was like, I had my first boyfriend when I was like in the 8th grade or something like that.
Okay.
And it's just silly, but if you think about it, like, any dating relationship can shape the way that you see relationships and how you respond to conflict and finding what you want, because that's why you date, is to see if you want to date that person or find what you want, and that can start at a young age. Mm-hmm. And so there's relationships I've been in the past where, like, I've referred to lessons I learned when I was even younger.
Yeah.
Because it was just helpful to know. And it definitely would have spared me the heartbreak, for sure. The traumatic high school heartbreaks, but I think there's still valuable lessons to be learned when you're young.
Mm-hmm. And so that is it. If you have, dated younger, you are younger and you're dating, or maybe you haven't dated a lot, like, there's still lessons that you can learn. And, something in a book I read too is like, we're not made to date for like long periods of time, so years upon years upon years. Like, I do get, we talked about, there are the high school sweethearts that happen, and I have a couple in my family, like, they dated 8 years, high school, college, and then got married and, have great lives, but that doesn't always happen for everyone. And so the whole point of dating is to find somebody that you potentially can marry. So I think a lot of times, especially like in the Christian world, is they don't have you date at a young age because you're not able to get married right away. Some people do get younger or get married younger in life, and then some people don't. They get married older in life. And so it's just kind of, there's no like right answer of like when to date, when to not. But I think just praying and having discernment from God and like having the relationship be led. Like, if you haven't dated a lot and a guy asks you out and you guys have nothing in common, like, don't just go out with that guy because, you're wanting to date and nobody's asked you out. Like, you want to make sure that you are like-minded, that you have the same beliefs, you have the same values. Maybe you're attracted to him, maybe you're not, but like, sometimes, like, friends have told me, just give him a chance. What's the worst that can happen, Yes. And so you never know what could happen on that first date.
But it's also fun to just date in high school. I don't know if you're watching this, if you're in high school, but do what your parents tell you to do. But it's still just like a fun to like date in high school. I don't know, there's just something about it. Mm-hmm. and there's still like valuable lessons to be learned when you're young. You don't have to I would say just because you're dating young doesn't make what you're learning and what you're going through and what like you are navigating through is any less valuable than what you would learn dating in a relationship later. Yeah, when you're older, you're way more mature, you've had a lot of life experience, you know more what you want because you're older and you have more of like a path for your life, and you are able to get married, so that's something that you are like thinking about for sure.
Yeah.
However, the lessons that you learn in a relationship are lessons that you learn in a relationship, no matter how old you are, and it's something that you can always look back on. So I'm grateful for it. I think it's just, I don't know, if your parents tell you not to, like yours did, you have that experience. But I just came home one day and was like, this guy asked me out. I have a boyfriend now. And it was like, whoa, you know? So anyway.
Yeah, no, I loved it. Well, thank you, Summer, for being on the vlog and like hanging out and talking about this.
It was so fun. This is not a topic that is like easy to talk about.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a fun conversation. I love having hard conversations. So
yeah.
If you have questions for either of us, just, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll
ask.
Yes, and I'll put all of her social media info too below so that you can connect with her and follow her because she is a sweetheart.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you guys have an amazing Friday and I will see you next week.